Cecilia said that maybe it was only the removal of the president and democracy cannot be achieved. The point now in Tunisia that after the removal of the president, we are asking to remove the ex-government first. Second, to the governors, like small scale, smaller scale. And then now directors and all Tunisians are working like, Tunisia is a very small society. So we know each other very well. So we can say, oh, this guy belongs to the ex-ruling party and he's corrupted. You see, so maybe this will achieve 50%. Then once there is another thing that all Tunisians want this change. So they will start to change from themselves and their behavior. Okay, I know that it's very idealist, but at least they are aware of this. They are aware of this. And you can feel this from the social networks.
Plus, which I think it will help in this changing, is that the high level of education in Tunisia. This is like a good point for the Tunisian young people. There is a very high level of education, and thus this can help in good changing in Tunisia in order to establish real democracy and in order to promote the country and for economic and social situation, better situation.
There is also one point about Tunisia that we can adapt at any condition, under any condition. Really, when we came I wanted to say an example. When we came to Japan, like Tunisia is very different from Japan, and we could adapt within even a few months, less than a few months. So Tunisian, where you put him, he can adapt at any moment, anywhere, at any time.
Yeah. But I have another question concerning that. What happened, because you mentioned before that like you go to see an official, you have to bribe the official, you never can trust the policeman, but they are also Tunisian. So, and I guess many of them just switch their allegiance suddenly. Yeah. But how do you react? I mean, it's a very complex dynamic. And how do you cope, or how these people cope also with these sudden...
At one point of people were so frustrated. So the first reflex they did, they just go to the guy who was like doing torture or something for many years, and they want like to make him like guilty or something like this. So now there is kind of call for reconciliation. Like it started to happen, especially between police and people. I think it was mentioned in the presentation.
Right.
But now what is happening, like inside the administration, if somebody is very well known to be corrupted or something, everybody will denounce this person. But of course this will be problematic. Like the regime was officially saying that they have 3 million members. So like 30% of the population are. Yeah. But of course, among this, many like innocent people, they were just forced to buy this membership card there. But
they are not
like a minority are really like very dangerous people. One point I want to add about this hope for the next generation. In Tunisia, like we were saying, that the young generation is really like going on the wrong direction. They just care about concert, going to disco, to dance. They put like a product for hairs on, and they put the new jeans and nothing in their mind. 2 weeks ago, of course, they joined the movement, and of course, they contributed to protect the 2 weeks ago, the new Minister of Education, he organized a meeting with the high school students. And the idea and the level of discussion was impressive for all Tunisians. And the minister was saying, I couldn't imagine that this young generation, which people were thinking they are really like nothing in the mind, and they just think about going to party and something. They have this kind of constructive idea to for example, it happened like they told them at the end of the week you will meet the minister. In each class they make kind of election. They elected one representative. This representative, they were having meetings for all the week to have this idea. Then through Facebook they relate like the draft of what they did. If you have additional idea and so on, they gathered this, and from each governorate they were, and they asked the minister. So of course the social network can help in this sense, I think.
Very good.
Comments, questions? In the back there? Oh, come.